Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into my podcast once again. The last time I think I uploaded and recorded, I think was the first week of December, and it is now, we're in the last week of December, the last week of 2024. Wow, we got here very quickly, and technically, it is Oh, it is Christmas Day. So, Merry Christmas to all that celebrate. If you don't, hopefully you're somewhere with friends and family and doing something community based or whatever. I know that people celebrate holidays different ways, and we should be respectful of our fellow human beings. A lot of respectability is going out the window with a lot of the things that have been going on and around. So, I love a time such as this for us to kind of put aside our differences, put aside our gripes, and just get together with family and just eat good food, reminisce on positive times, and, go from there. Well, I was having a discussion actually with a family member, and sometimes we get caught up in doing things the same way that we've always done it, because that's just what we've always done and that's just what we know. But I think I've said this on this podcast a few times. When you know better, you do better. And I am a person that just wants to get things done. I can't stand the lollygagging and, we gonna think about it and reminisce and no. Let's make a decision and let's get it done. Because you are delaying your creativity. You're delaying your greatness. You are delaying your forward motion when you constantly procrastinate. And I was reading something not too long ago saying that procrastination is actually tied to our emotional well-being, tied to depression, tied to constantly searching and not knowing where to go and not knowing what to do and not having a clear focus. And that makes people just sit in the same space, or think that, well, they have a great idea of something that they want to do, but I don't really want to do it because that's not the way people usually do it. And what are people going to say? Let me tell you something. I'm not going to be long with this. Do it the way that works for you. Do not worry about what other people have to say. Do it scared, do it mad, do it sad, do it glad, whatever. But do it the way that works for you. And just because your parents didn't do it that way, just because your spouse didn't do it that way, just because your sister, your brother, even your mentors didn't do it that way, doesn't mean that you can't have a fresh take on something. Try. If it fails, then you would have tested it, and then you know how to move from there. But when you sit and you do nothing because you're afraid to do something in a different way than other people have done it, this is where that becomes a problem. Now, I know people say, well, don't fix it if it ain't broke. Let me tell you something. Everything can be improved on. Everything. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's the wheel on your car. Everything can be improved on. So if you found a way to change up a system that doesn't quite work well in your office, test it out to see how it will work. It could just be, we used to do flow charts back in the day. Do we even do flow charts anymore? But we had flow charts of how things work in an office, whatever it is. Test it to see. If it fails, it fails, but at least you will know. Because when you sit stagnant, and you sit still because you're afraid to share your new idea, or you're afraid to share your new, journey in something, that's where things start going left. And I can see how that could lead to feeling down because you're not putting 100% of your talent and your efforts and your time into whatever that thing it is that you want to do, whether it's starting a business, whether it is improving on something within a business that you have right now. I literally took the last 3 months of this year, October, November, and this month of December, and have streamlined things with my business, have implemented things more heavily that I was not really pushing in my business because I felt like, well, what are people going to say? How are they going to react? What are they going to ask me? All types of questions. And I'm to the point right now that I don't care. Ask all the questions that you want. I am going to do what I need to do to succeed. And that doesn't mean I'm stepping on people. What I'm doing is I'm saying, hey, I found this new way to do this thing. I found another way that we could be successful. Want to come along? You want to come along? Come along. I have no problems with that. But you got to pull your weight too. And even though the plan may not be what you're used to, that does not mean it's not going to work. Test your theories. Never just sweep something under the rug because you think, oh, I don't want to do. People are going to laugh at me. They're going to think that I'm weird. No. Let me tell you something. Some of these social media folks, influencers, whatever you want to call them, entertainers or whatever, they are not afraid to look dumb. They are not afraid to test their ideas. They're not afraid to come up with concepts. It's the reason why they are successful. Because people are like, what do you do for your job? YouTube. That's what they do. They're a content creator. Well, what does that mean? They create content for social media and you click on it, and every time you click, it pays them. These are the things. I questioned in the very beginning of this social media craze. I questioned, how are people making money? How are they? You know what? Brand deals. They're getting paid per clicks for things. They're setting up advertisements for their affiliate marketing and all kinds of stuff. I haven't even delved into affiliate marketing the way that I should. I'm an affiliate for so many different things, but never really dug down into it. Well, let me tell you something. 2025 is going to be a different story. Let me tell you how real it is right now. If you hear a hissing noise, that's an old school radiator, okay? When you live in a solid home from back in the day, that is my radiator doing all that hissing noise. So if you hear that, hopefully you guys can still hear me, but I told you I'm real over here. And it's actually working quite well because it's quite cold outside. If you're in the Northeast area, especially like the tri-state area, it has been brick outside, like really, really cold. So at this time of the morning, we're in the wee hours of the morning, so the heat tends to pipe up during that time. But anyway, the wind chill is like 20 degrees right now, so that's the reason why it's happening. But okay, like I said, just because you want to do something a certain way and people are not used to it doesn't mean that it will fail. The failure comes in when you fail to even try, because then you will never know if your concept will work. People didn't think they could fly planes, but let me tell you something, they kept trying until the concept and the aerodynamics and all of the physics and all the things that they had to figure out made it possible. Don't ever doubt your ability. And even if you do fail, You can still tweak. You can still pivot. You don't have to sit in the same spot all the time. You can move. You can pivot. You know what I'm saying? So don't even be afraid to fail. To me, when somebody says they failed at doing something or they tried something and they failed, really what it is you've learned. And I know I say this all the time, but I have to throw this in there because I get questions all the time. I get emails all the time. I get DMs all the time asking about, business stuff and how do I do this and how do I do that. Consistency. Test your theories. You know what I mean? Never give up on that. So I was having that conversation with a family member and I said, listen, you don't have to stay in the position that you are. You can move at any time. You can change your perception about anything at any time. You can change your mind. You may have had a certain thought process about something for 40 years, and you can say, you know what, I've learned now better, so now I'm going to do better. But some people don't want to do that because it's looking like they're backtracking. No, you can say, you know what, I used to believe like this for 30 years, and now that I've learned more about said subject matter, I realize, wow, I wasn't on point as I thought I was. It's okay to learn better habits than what you had before. It's okay to change your mind. I'm not talking about flip-flopping. I'm talking about you educating yourself on something and you know better, so now you're going to do better. Don't ever let someone tell you that a concept that you have, that something or the way that you're going to do something or whatever will fail. Test your concept and then learn from that and then tweak it, because you can do whatever you want to do. You hate the 9 to 5, you don't have to stay there. You hate the way that your boss speaks to you, you don't have to take it. You are not a tree. You can move. Right? Trees stay in the same spot. You're not a tree. You can uproot yourself from anywhere and go where you are appreciated. Go where you are celebrated. This includes relationships. Why are you going to stay in a relationship that you know this ain't it? Why are you going to keep entertaining friends that are unsupportive and you know good and well this ain't it? Why do you stay? There are so many people who get you and understand you that will celebrate you just for you being you, not changing up into what they need you to be. Again, you can do what you want to do. Make your decisions, stick with it, roll with it, learn from it. Don't be afraid to fail because it's something new that nobody's ever heard of. Listen, every invention was something new that nobody heard of. It had to be introduced some kind of way, right? And it was. And now it's the 99-cent sensation. We all see those great gadgets and everything. This is where they come from. Fix a problem, whatever it is. You want the simple thing? You want something that people are going to gravitate to? Fix a problem, find a solution, and then monetize it. Stop thinking that you can't do or be anything that you want to be. Don't think that you have to stay at that dead-end job. Don't think that you have to stay in that dead-end relationship because you're afraid of being alone. Don't do that to yourself. Learn something new. Celebrate you. All right, you guys, that's all I got. At Onyx Queen Media on all the socials. Instagram is my most active. Have a Merry Christmas, and I hope this encouraged you.